As the F1 silly season continues, there are a lot of questions around, with Schumacher set to become a free agent in 2023. In fact, it's showing absolutely no signs of slowing down with some pretty hot updates. So what's 2023 gonna look like? Who's staying, who's going, and whose fate is still up in the air? Stay tuned and keep watching as we catch you up with the most recent silly season update. First up, Schumacher is a free agent in 2023. Now, he's on a Ferrari Driver Academy contract but drives for Haas, thanks to Ferrari's technical partnership with the US-owned team. But it looks like he needs to look elsewhere across the grid for a 2023 seat. The latest news is that the German won't be retained by Haas beyond this year, and the team even has a new driver waiting in the wings to join Kevin Magnussen next season. In fact, Antonio Giovinazzi seems to be the favorite who's going to take Mick's seat in 2023. Now, Giovinazzi is one of Ferrari's reserve drivers right along with him. Plus, he was also announced by Haas that he's probably going to have 2 FP1 appearances before the season is over. And with Mick's time with Haas and Ferrari set to come to an end, his options for a potential seat next season are pretty slim. In fact, as it stands, there are going to be openings at Alpine and McLaren. Williams could also have a seat up for grabs given that Nicholas Latifi's contract runs out at the end of the season. With that said, it's pretty unlikely to be renewed given his performances since he joined. At the same time, Daniel Ricciardo's got an impending vacancy at McLaren, which is set to be filled by fellow Aussie Oscar Piastri. So again, it's pretty unlikely that the 2020 F2 champion could end up there. In fact, AlphaTauri driver Pierre Gasly is going to join Alpine next season, so that's goodbye to yet another potential opportunity. Moving on, another possible opportunity for Schumacher. There were a few rumors that he was in talks with Alpine and even presented himself as the candidate to replace Fernando Alonso. Sadly, the move didn't really work, and the French team is slowly closing on Pierre Gasly. And with that, there were other rumors of him leaving the Ferrari Driver Academy. Now, that's going to cost him his seat at Haas, and he might end up without a drive in 2023. In fact, he doesn't even have a contract with Haas after this year, so Haas can easily refuse to extend his contract if he's no longer associated with the 1.35 billion F1 teams. Autosport even confirmed this rumor, saying that Mick and Ferrari Drivers Academy are set to part ways after this year, and a situation like that could leave him without a team for the 2023 season, as almost all teams have or are nearly announcing their new lineups. Sadly, there's very little hope for Schumacher. Having said that, it looks like he's left with Williams as the only option. They're reportedly not seeking an extension of Nicholas Latifi's contract in F1, and there are rumors that Mick's trying to negotiate with them right in the middle of his separation from Ferrari. Right now, it's probably best that Michael puts his best foot forward until the end of the season if he wants to stay on the grid in 2023. Not to mention, Ferrari hasn't been very happy with Schumacher's performance recently. Now, Ferrari has heavily invested in the Cham over the past few years, as they really saw some real racing talent in him. And let's not forget that genetics plays a big role. In fact, he's the son of probably one of the biggest legends in Formula One, Michael Schumacher. The 7-time world champion left a record that no one could beat. Yes, Lewis Hamilton managed to match it, but even he hasn't scored himself another championship win to truly beat the record Michael set. Anyway, Mick winning the 2021 Formula 2 championship further fueled Ferrari's belief and made them promote him to Haas, which gave him his desired F1 debut. And take a look at the last 2 years. He's done decently well with Haas. At the same time, he also hasn't been perfect and met their expectations. In fact, with all the mistakes, he cost his team a pretty huge amount in repairs, so much so that in his rookie year, he was honestly the costliest driver when it came to repairs. On the other hand, Ferrari is in pretty good balance with Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, and they've both been giving pretty consistent results from their end. So breaking this partnership for Schumacher isn't going to be in Ferrari's interest, but the 23-year-old race driver also wants to see his upward mobility in F1. What's more, Haas F1 made a pretty major announcement recently. At this point, the current F1 season has been nothing short of a roller coaster ride. We've seen it all, from excitement and frustration to contract drama and so much more. At the same time, the season is only halfway through, and a recent announcement from Haas F1 might just spring a lot more drama surrounding Mick. Now, their F1's announcement is certainly going to fuel the rumor mill in Formula One. In fact, the American constructors announced that Antonio Giovinazzi is going to participate in FP1 sessions for the team, as we mentioned earlier. So we're going to see him at the Italian Grand Prix and the United States Grand Prix. As a matter of fact, the Ferrari reserve driver hasn't even raced in Formula One since the end of 2021. It's safe to say that the announcement caught the attention of F1 fans, and popular journalist Will Buxton jumped in to give his opinion on Twitter. Currently, the current Haas driver lineup includes Kevin Magnussen and the son of 7-time world champion Mick Schumacher. Honestly, many even find the announcement pretty intriguing, especially with all the contract disputes going on between Alpine, McLaren, and Oscar Piastri. Rumor has it that Mick is the favorite to replace the very outgoing Fernando Alonso, and the German has even put in some impressive shifts this year, scoring his first points in F1 in the process. At the same time, Giovinazzi took it to Twitter to confirm the announcement made by Haas F1. Coming up, is Schumacher going to race for Alpine in 2023? Well, whether Haas is looking to replace Mick with the Italian is just another burning question reeking for an answer, and with Sebastian Vettel retiring at the end of the season and two-time champion Alonso moving to Aston Martin Racing, you can expect a few more changes in next season's driver lineups. The announcement made by Haas seems to be a backup plan for them in case Mick decides to leave. Not to mention, the German's even out of a contract with Haas after racing with them for 2 years. So whether they're going to renew it or not, or even whether he wants to continue with them or not, is still a pretty big question. The rumors got worse when Alpine CEO Laurent Rossi even followed Schumacher on Instagram. Plus, Alpine looks like they're about to lose the talented Oscar Piastri to McLaren, and in a saga that unfolded on Twitter, Alpine also released a press statement stating that Oscar Piastri was going to race for them. Having said that, the Australian quickly denied that he signed any contract with Alpine to race for them in the next year. Yeah, so there's a lot of drama, lots of controversies, and a lot of excitement to see what happens next in the world of Formula One. Finally, what's 2023 going to look like for the other Formula One teams? Well, F1 teams are still trying to figure out how to get the most out of their cars under the new regulations, while also somehow staying within the budget cap. But honestly, it's starting to look like the majority are shying away from shaking up their driver lineups for 2023. With the top 3 teams, and we're hinting towards Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes, the trio are already virtually locked into bringing back this year's pairings for the F1 future, and there's news and rumors that are rapidly shaping the remainder of the grid. Plus, McLaren is the only team with both drivers officially under contract for the next season. In fact, there's chatter about possibly replacing Daniel Ricciardo because of how his lackluster performance has died down, at least for the time being. And team boss Zak Brown even made some comments that seemed to show a lack of confidence in the Australian driver. However, he did recently take those statements back, stating that he had a pretty great relationship with the driver and was just being honest about the disappointment in his performance. Given that the team chemistry is strong, the results have also somewhat improved, and McLaren is probably looking at more than a one-year path to get back to the front. Honestly, there doesn't seem to be any reason not to accept Brown's comments. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think is next for Mick Schumacher in 2023, with him set to become a free agent? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.